Welcome to the GKF Little Tybee camping paddle. Now let's see if she floats. Yeah. Hey, so this group of guys and those group of guys, we're all in the same group.
All the same group?
All in the same group, going to the same place. Alright guys, so this is our annual GKF Little Tybee Island camping paddle. This is my 5th time out here. Basically the premise of this event is down just south of Big Tybee Island. There's Little Tybee Island, and it's an uninhabited island. You can camp out on it, fish. It's a cool spot. So we've been coming out here for a while. Basically, as you can see, I've got a kayak loaded down full of camping gear. Already getting a little bit wet. This is a Shearwater, Vibe Shearwater 125, Bixby equipped, and I've got to come back and get the food in the cooker, so I'm actually making 2 trips out and 2 trips back. So it's a good thing I got the, it's getting kind of squirrely out here. It's a good thing I got the Bixby, because this is cutting my time in half for sure. But the scenario right now is we're battling the wind. Up and this way ahead of us is the Atlantic Ocean. The sandy beaches that you see in front of me right there, those are actually sandbars. So this water's relatively calm, but once the ocean crosses those sandbars, starts coming over it, then it gets kind of turbulent. So our goal is to use the tide to our advantage and get out here while the creek is sheltered from the Atlantic. But I'm making some pretty good time here. So the tide is on the way in. The wind is in my face. This is going to be about a 15-minute trip for me, so not bad at all. And on the way back, I won't have to deal with the weight, and I'll be going with the water and the wind, so on the way back will be super easy. But no, this is a fun trip. We usually get about 20 to 30 people out here. Everybody camps out on the island. Some people want to explore the island during the day. Some people just want to kayak fish the whole time. Some people just sit around camp and hang out and cook and have a good time. That's the kind of trip this is. But I've got plenty of other videos up on this particular location, so be sure to check those out if you're looking for more detail. It is beautiful out here. Hope I don't have spray. But yeah, the sandbars have changed. It's like pushed up against the coast here. I can see people up there that's with us. All right, quick yak lead launch demonstration. So I've dropped off my camping equipment, basically my personal stuff, fishing equipment, camping equipment, that sort of thing. I've got to make 2 trips this trip, and I have to go back and we're doing a club dinner night. We're gonna do fajitas on the fire disc, which we're really excited about. And so I got to go back and get some of the food and the cooler and the actual disc. I've kind of split that up with some other people. You know, the fire disc breaks out into 3-4 different pieces, so we've split that up. A few people have taken the legs, but I have the Bixby Jet motor equipped on the Shearwater, so it's, you know, not going to drain me of energy to make 2 runs back and forth real quick. My only concern is, if you see over here, these are the sandbars. When the sandbars are out, the water's worth paddling. It's not too bad. There's always that coastal wind that you have to deal with, but on the other side of those sandbars is the Atlantic Ocean, and as soon as the tide gets all the way up and breaches these sandbars, you won't be able to see them. They'll be completely underwater. About to make landfall here at, I think it's Alley 2. Shut Bixby off. Final pieces to this campsite. Bag of food, got a cooler behind me. Also, I'm in the Shearwater 125 with a Bixby. Absolutely shredding this wind. Like I said, I've got a Bixby. I've already made 1 trip today. This is the 2nd trip. Full power, and I've got, I don't even think there's a light out. I think there's 5 or 6 lights there on the Bixby battery. I don't think there's even a light out on the Bixby, so it's running tough. So far, so good. All right, so the first trip over, it took me about 17 minutes or so to get from ramp to camp. So I'm expecting about the same on this one. Based on the way the tides are on Sunday, I think they'll be coming back in when we're leaving. So that's a situation where you can just ride it out. You know, I mean, on my way back with the wind at my back and the Bixby at like half speed, you know, it probably took me 10 minutes. On the way there, about 17, but that's just because I'm fighting the water and the headwind. So I'm about to complete my 2nd trip today, back to the camp at Tybee. I just want to take a second to kind of brag about the Shearwater a little bit, like knocking down some water in the wind, tide in my face, back, and then to do it again takes me right around 17 minutes to get from Alley 3 to campsite with the Bixby and the Shearwater. And you know, I'm cruising past a lot of the other kayaks out here, especially the ones that are paddle powered. I'm super happy with it. You know, I wanted something that I could cover ground with, right? Like, I don't mind paddling when I get to the fishing spot or the camping spot or whatever, but you know, in a pinch or in a situation where I want to go 4 or 5 miles or 10 miles in, I can do that straightaway speed with the Bixby and get there, fish, and then turn around and Bixby back out. Wind, no wind, tide, no tide, doesn't matter. Taking it to the island. Bald eagle on the beach right there. How about that? Saw one at Charlie Elliott 2 weeks ago. Right here. So I guess somebody brought a bass boat up here. Had a little too much fun on the island. Forgot that the tide was coming in. Woo! Lost their bass boat. There's another one over here too. Little John boat. Little John boat wreck. right, good morning, folks. I'm out here on Tybee Island. As you can see, there's some boats out there fishing this point right here. But beautiful morning today. It's Saturday on Tybee. I'm gonna give you guys a quick update of what's going on today. We're about to use the fire disc to cook up some breakfast, bacon and eggs, all that good stuff. Then I'm gonna take a little hike on the island, do some exploring for a little while. Right now the tide's coming out. Let's see, just past the boat there. I don't know if you can see the kayakers. Those are two guys that are with us. The tide's going out. The sandbar is coming up out of the water now. So they're out there on the sandbar. They're gonna fish the outgoing tide on the surf of the sandbar, which is a really good idea. I've caught trout out there before. But yeah, I'm gonna do a little island exploring in the AM, come back and kind of relax in the noontime. It's supposed to be 88 degrees today, so it's gonna be hot. Very little precipitation. So the weekends turn out good. I just need to stay hydrated and keep my sunscreen on. Go out to this point right here, close to this mud flat. See if we can throw at these trees. Get out on this nasty flat with my bare feet. I'm standing on hard packed sand right now, so you're good. All right, welcome back to camp after a unsuccessful hike down the beach to do a little fishing. I just hiked down to the creek here. There's a few other people down there fishing and camping as well too. Apparently they caught a few trout this morning. I just got there late. So heading back to camp, we're gonna cook some bacon and eggs and get some breakfast going. Guys, the sun is brutal out here. You're gonna come spend a few days on Little Tybee. Be sure to bring some sun and insect repellent. Those are two of the big ones, because the bugs will get you when the wind dies down. And on days like today, when it's 88 degrees and no clouds, you can get a sunburn real easy. So yeah, that's paying the price of a beautiful weekend at Tybee Island. Yeah, so we're at the backside creek on Little Tybee. The tide is all the way out, so it looks like the creek is completely dry. Hang on. Look how big this beach is. So with the tide's all the way up, we'd be standing in water right now. So it's about noon and hot, really hot. So when you're on Little Tybee and it gets really hot, it's hammock time for an hour or two. Let it cool down. But no, I mean, the sun comes up
pretty early around here. Everybody gets stirring kind of early. So hike in the morning, fish in the morning, kayak in the morning, and then get back around midday when it gets real hot. God, you can see the sun I've gotten. Hang on. Yeah, I'm getting a little toasty. So we'll take a bit of a siesta and then catch back up in about an hour. So instead of bringing ice, I always freeze my water bottles. There's a nice ball of ice in this guy. It's been cold for like 2 hours. But we're on day 2. Let's see, can you see it? Yep. Day 2 of a little Tybee Island trip, and cold water makes all the difference.
Before you're passing the bottle of rum. All this time I never knew it was there. There was an anchor in there.
Sunday morning on Little Tybee. Tide is starting to head out. I think 1 or 2 o'clock is going to be our low today, so we're going to head out right around that time to catch the tide. Check it out, this is that cool fog that came in the other day. It's blue sky out there, so this is really neat. It's the same thing that happened yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. My sandals have been killing my feet. It's almost painful to walk around out here. And that's from the strap on my sandals. I still have the Astral shoes, so I'm gonna probably wear those on the way out. But yeah, it's been a source of an annoyance all weekend. All right, Sunday morning, last day on Little Tybee. It's been a fun weekend. The fishing has been super hard. Probably the worst fishing trip I've taken to Little Tybee. I didn't catch anything all weekend. A few whiting were caught. Some guys dug up some 1 or 2 clams, a bunch of mussels, and some oysters. But it's been a great camping weekend. The weather was awesome. Right now the tide is on the way out, and we're not going to leave until 1 or 2 o'clock today at low tide, because we want to ride that tide back into the ramp instead of fighting against it with overloaded kayaks to get back. So we're just kind of piddling around camp this morning. It's about 8 o'clock. We had visits from raccoons last night, got into the trash. We're trying to get into people's gear and stuff. And it was really foggy, so I don't know if that gave them the the courage and camouflage they needed to come up and raid our camp, but they did that. So thanks for watching Little Tybee Island, folks. It's been a great trip, had a good time, great camping. It's nice and cool, great weather, and great friends. So thanks for checking out the video. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know. Here's the goal. I need to get a fire disc and all of that onto that. 5 Shearwater 125, got it loaded down. Little Tybee loadout, but I'm waiting on the island for the tide to turn and start coming back in, and then we're going to take the tide all the way back to the boat ramp. But cooler's light, that was really the heavy one on the way out, with water and ice and food and all that sort of thing. So all the food's gone. I've got just enough water for the day. Really the only heavy thing on the boat is going to be the fire disc, and my buddy Chris has the legs to the fire disc, so we're splitting them. Now we got to be careful in this one because we got gear piled high and it's windy out right now. We hope the wind dies down in a little bit, but it should help us, but you never know. And having a big profile like this doesn't help you in the wind, unless that's the direction you're going, which right now it is.